And the US Secretary of State has told Congress that Hong Kong's special status with America should end as it's no longer autonomous from China. It comes as Beijing prepares to impose a new security law on Hong Kong, which has sparked more protests. Let's get more on this with Mr. Ying Rong. He's a Vice President and Senior Research Fellow at the China Institute of International Studies and joins me now from Beijing. Good to have you with us on the programme. Thanks for your time. How concerned will Beijing be about any report going to the US Congress and dealing with Hong Kong's sort of financial dealings with the USA?
Well, I think the draft decision for establishing and improving the legal system and implementation mechanism of national security in Hong Kong will be adopted today at the National People's Congress. And the purpose for having that decision is meant to address the loopholes of national security in security issues in Hong Kong. And it is as a sovereign state, I think central government of China has all the right, like any other sovereign state, United States included, that they have the right to do that. And the idea to do that, I think, as I said, is meant to address loopholes.
And that would be fine, sir. Sorry, I'm going to jump in there, sir. Sorry, I'm going to jump in there, Mr. Rong, because the question was, would Beijing care about what the US say or do with regards to taking this matter to their own legislature to then deal with Hong Kong and with China in the status that they offer to Hong Kong? Will Beijing actually be bothered about that?
Well, China certainly hoped that the United States would understand the reasons and the purposes of formulating that decision and the necessary legal system to ensure national security in Hong Kong. And China also has made very clear, the central government and Hong Kong SAR government very clear, that it is not it is aimed at improve the national security issues, like the United States has been doing. And so we only hope that they will understand that. But of course, China also made very clear China would take all the necessary countermeasures to respond anything, I think, that would undermine China's national security.
OK, if that's the case then, sir, will it matter if, for example, financial institutions veer away from Hong Kong if the US removes the status it offers to Hong Kong or places indirect sanctions on Hong Kong? In a similar way, do they react in the way that they treat Iran? It succeeded to a certain point with Iran. And if the US uses this methodology on China, how do you think Beijing is going to react?
Hong Kong, I think the stability and prosperity of Hong Kong and the status of international financial and sort of center serve the interests of all, certainly the interest of Hong Kong and China, and including foreign investors from other countries, including the United States. I think it only hope that the United States would not do that. But as you said, that the United States has been sanctioned, put various sanctions on other countries for its own purpose, on the so-called national security. And if you look at these countries, I think these countries, they live as it is. So I don't think the sanctions per se would, in a way that undermine China's determination. And rather, in the end, I think it would end up undermine its own interest, I mean, including the United States business community interest in there.
It'll be interesting to see what does happen, certainly, in the coming weeks. For the moment, Mr. Ying Rong, thanks so much for joining us from Beijing, sir. Thanks for your time.